Yeah, so I guess Nintendo made a game where like he's running up like an up a hill like an elliptical, so like their fans don't get fat and they don't die from playing the Stitch. So, uh, yeah,
All this pricing stuff, it really is a bummer. And
that's
I
somebody's clit in the foreground. Heat of how hot from the Switch vibrating all over it like crazy.
like I'm really not the kind of person who's gonna blindly defend Nintendo. I'm really not. I have made a career out of criticizing
If you wanted to defend Nintendo, just sign up for a security job.
Nintendo. But in the case of the whole pricing thing, I don't want to be too quick to judge 100% one way or the other because there is a greater global economic situation going on.
Yeah, Trump is gonna say, "Give us the Stitch 2 for free, and we'll stop the tariffs."
So anything that these companies are doing to try to like make a little bit more money or whatever,
Hate no
like,
tower.
I
Love
sort
no
of get
enemy.
it to a degree, and I get that the Switch was really
This tower's got a
successful.
tower
So going into the
secluded
Switch
on
2, Nintendo wants to keep making that kind of money. They have investors they need to please, and all that stuff. And like I just
They don't
yeah,
even have to do that. They just gotta make them do what's gonna make them happy. No guarantee the investors know what's going on.
I I I don't want to just immediately say it's all just like it's wrong, it's messed up, it's way too much. I don't want to look at things in such simplistic terms, you know? Usually these kinds of things are
Why did they
fairly
just giant freaking
common,
years here?
so they shouldn't
No, go
be
on.
obligated.
I see this
Tears of
crap.
the Kingdom is now 80. Okay, yeah,
This looks
sure.
bad.
But yeah.
Screw this.
And obviously Nintendo will argue that, like, yeah, but that's
Do-rag, man. I know someone who's like this. I'm not gonna say much.
that's extra content. If you were already willing to pay $60 for Breath of the Wild, and if you were already willing potentially to pay $10 to get upgraded to the Switch 2 edition, well then the DLC, it's not even in the conversation, right? It's not even a part of this. If you want that extra content,
DLC stands for Dick Loves Chick. And here's one right now. And that link is looking very feminine.
then of course you still have to pay $20 for
Dick.
that DLC, right?
This is the same.
right.
This
Yeah,
is
there's a
That's the
logic
love?
there, I suppose. But
Now,
like,
let's see if the chick is gonna respond or not.
I mean,
Oh,
do you
no.
even need? Do you, like the person listening to this?
You saw-
Do you
she
even
was just
need
interacting
me
with the love.
to like explain why this is kind of
Oh.
messed up?
Oh, we got the chick.
It is
Boom.
industry standard
Now she's
that
pregnant.
when you release
She's
a new
been
and
inseminated.
definitive version of a game, you include any and all DLC.
You include all semen
And in fact,
into the belly of the pussy.
Nintendo has been doing this as well. Any
That's all the
Wii U
semen
port, any
that's-
deluxe
Transmutated into a lot of swirly little lines.
version of a game on Switch, they've all gotten the DLC. That's
This
just
is that treadmill that you fucks should be on. You stitchers. Stitchers, don't die.
kind of what you do in this industry.
It's even got
now,
swimming.
could it be that they
better not see you at the gym
do
swimming
not feel
using my pool.
obligated to do such a thing? Because a Switch 2 edition isn't really like a whole new version of the game.
Good job.
Right? You're not like paying for it all over again. So they shouldn't be obligated to include the DLC. It's really just a little bit of an
Flint.
upgrade, a little bit of a boost. So maybe that's why they feel like it doesn't.
It's also so you get a job
doesn't make
mining and you
sense
can
to
pay
just
for more services.
automatically include whatever came in the game.
That's the reason they made this part.
But the real problem here is it's very similar to the whole welcome tour thing, where it's like, yeah, it's not just that we'd have to pay $10 for this game. It's the fact that you're charged.
They would have given you a lawn mowing machine in this game to cut the grass, but you would have been so happy because the lawnmower is like a controller itself that you would have been doing that all day instead of playing the Stitch. So there's like we can't let any like of the grass like be cuttable. So we're sure the dew and like you leave the dew there, leave him as your friend.
Charging for it at all, and it really feels like
I've ridden on one of those lawnmowers, man. Like I grew up without the ones that you can drive around, like the ones where you just like stand on the back and you go forward. Those are annoying. But the new ones are fun to the point where like dudes are just mowing their lawns just to drive it around like it's a go-kart. Just open like a little go-kart mini race like they did with the lawnmowers and just race around there, or just go to the go-kart place and be like, hey, let me use a go-kart or a lawnmower here. This is what I think they should do.
you shouldn't. Because need I remind everyone that Breath of the Wild is now 8 years old. It is old. It was a game available on the first day of the Switch's life. It is such an old game. It has basically been replaced by Tears of the Kingdom. Not like
Gosh dang it, man. I need my health. I thought my health was bad.
Breath of the
What
Wild,
happened?
but like Tears of the Kingdom is the newer one. It's the same map, but
Yeah,
even
dude, I couldn't think of anything for the gliding stuff, man. I don't know what they're trying to do with the gliding.
more features, and with the building mode.
Oh yeah, they don't want you to migrate to Japan. It's customs, so they made it like, okay, if you try to fly, you're gonna fucking die. That's why they didn't make it realistic.
And everything. Like it's so much more game. And the original, it's 8 years old, and it's so much less game. It's already ridiculous.
That's a sex toy. It's to please the ladies. If you catch my drift.
To still be charging $60 for it. But now, to expect people, if you want to get the definitive version...
They also have the Chaos Emeralds in this game. I guess Sega didn't pay enough tariffs and tribute to Japan. So then Japan's like, no, we took your emeralds and we cut them into shape so that they're like squares now. And all the residues floating up above it.
Of Breath of the Wild, running on Switch 2 with all the new stuff. It's going to be $90.
$90.
$90.
You better not cut grass to make money for it.
Has been shaved off of that
If you want to
price.
quit
Not
playing
a
this,
smidge, not a cent, not a single solitary
Centophile.
cent has been removed from that
Century.
original MSRP. You are paying $59.99 plus $19.99 plus $9.99 for the privilege of playing it all on the Switch 2, this super duper old game. There is no desire
to the Switch 4.
whatsoever to save the customer even a tiny, tiny little bit of money when they're paying for this all as a complete package. Not a single bit. So again, I get it. They're in kind of a bind right now. Money might be tight. They might be losing some of the profit from sales in the U.S. I get it.
I always hate how little ammo you have, man. I was always so freaking worried. I wish they would just make these games where you just have infinite ammo, infinite everything. You can just chill and fuck around. Or put like an option on, I'm not an idiot mode. You know, if people want to be born rich, I mean, you can do the same thing with games, with cheat codes, or like if they add options, you can just enjoy yourself. I'm not here to suffer. I suffer enough in real life.
But it's little things like this that really do just feel bad. And even if I'm willing to be a little bit flexible with most of this pricing stuff, willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, I really don't think it's just Nintendo being greedy. We see it again and again with the other big companies. They succeed one generation and they get a big head and they fail the next generation because they
Big dick.
get greedy, and then they bounce back and forth, and yeah, that is a thing. I have tried not to believe that that's what's going to happen to Nintendo. They're going to let the success go to their head, and then they think they can just get away with anything.
This is to show you that don't get your big pussy lesbian friend to convince you to be a hoe like she is, because the size of this mouth is like big pussy like.
This is gross, though. It just is. It's too far. It really just is. It's a big game, sure. It's just too old. That's it. I don't know. Nintendo doesn't like the idea that a game loses value simply by being old. They don't like that. That makes them grumpy. That's why they kind of just pretend like it's not true. That's why they just keep their games,
Some games
at maximum
gain
price
value the older
forever.
they are.
I get it, and as long as those games still sell, then like yeah, you could argue
Like prostitution.
that those games are worth that price. I mean, any product is worth precisely as much as people will pay for it. So ultimately, I have to admit, if they end up selling a bunch of copies of Breath of the Wild on Switch 2, or at least a bunch of upgrade packs or whatever, then there
This
you go.
coin.
They didn't need to include
The coin he puts over here is for a giant prostitute right there. You know, with the big opening right there.
DLC. They're charging just the right amount for this game. But I can at least just come
Dude, I need to make a show where like I actually just I'm just like dressed up like a DJ and I just think bullshit all the time and they're actually trying to be serious. And then points to go talk what they're talking about without laughing.
Here, I can turn on my microphone and complain to y'all that I.
That's somebody just pissed right there. That mountain just pissed on all over the place. He also has some diarrhea. Not a lot though.
think it's gross. And somehow it's easier for me to take paying $80 for Mario Kart, even though like no other video game has ever like been that much in recent
Looks like
times.
shit to
Things have been
remind you
very
guys to stay away from
standard.
volcanoes.
70 was like the, are you kidding me? 70, that's way too much. Now 80, that should have me angry. That should have me freaking out. And yet somehow it's not. Somehow it's this. It's charging $90
Why is there a
for the
magnet
full
on this?
Breath of the Wild experience 8 years later.
This is bullshit.
Sure, it's upgraded for Switch 2. Sure, it's got the extra features and whatnot. Sure, it is a complete game and the DLC was really just extra
Orange
or
clip.
whatever. It's not like if you don't get the DLC, you're not getting the full thing. But like really kind of, yes, you are getting the whole thing if you get the DLC. Just to charge that much.
Dude, when's this guy gonna
After
finish?
so
We're
many
10
years.
minutes
You
into
can't,
this.
You can't throw us a bone. Not just the tiniest little bone. You can't. You absolutely
Tiniest little bum?
just can't. Even when it would make a big difference. Even when we're already hurting for money. We're already hurting. We're looking at our bank accounts and we're looking at all these Switch 2 games and we're kind of freaking out. Boy, it would have made a big difference if you'd just thrown us a bone here. But it's just kind of like, it's proof that like,
Dude, they're throwing you a cartridge.
no. The days of
Fuck
Nintendo
yeah.
throwing bones may very well be over. If they're charging this much for this, and they're charging $10 for Welcome Tour, it may be that, like, I don't know, will there ever be another Nintendo product that is ever released that makes us go, hey, that's a good deal. You know, that's a good value right there. Is that just like, nope, no more. You get to play games for quote-unquote free on NSO. Sure.
NFL.
But beyond that,
Saturday Night
that's
Live?
the only quote-unquote
What's talking about?
freebie. But feeling that games are worth the price is just,
Oh, maybe.
it's
That's
just
not
not
maybe.
going to happen anymore. I don't know. I mean, really, nobody knows how this whole situation is going to shake out or what the future looks like for Nintendo.
These brain-looking years.
No, really could be they're just trying to get on top of things because they sense that things are not going to get better anytime soon. So maybe this
You don't know that.
is just what everybody in the industry is going to have to do. I don't know, but I don't.
Dude, this thing's. I feel like something more epic should have happened here. Like you will fight off things from this position, not just you
Like-
just climb.
It makes me grumpy. So I'm going to turn this microphone off and send the file to Kane so he can edit it, and then he'll give it back to me, and then tomorrow I'll watch it, and if it's good, I'll upload it. And
When you
he'll
said
make
dick, send him dick and send him pussy.
a thumbnail,
Then he'll edit.
and then you'll watch it, and then
You'll watch it too.
that'll be the end of that.